Hi guys, good evening. I hope you're all having a really great week so far. It's Thursday night, so I thought I would invite Cath Williams, my lovely podcast guest from last week's episodes, on to have a chat with us and see if we could get some questions happening for her. Hey Kelly, welcome. It's lovely to see you. So hi Adam, if you've got any questions that you would love to ask to Cath, we might just wait a couple more minutes for some more people to join. Hey Cath. Now, this is the first time we've done this, so I have invited you, Cath, to join the chat. So I'm just going to see. Oh, here we go. I'm just going to bring you. Oh, hey, here we go. First time for everything. Hello.
Hello. Very good.
Welcome. Thanks for popping on. It's nice to see you.
Oh, thank you. Lovely to see you and chat again. Looking forward to it.
Yeah. I always love our chats, Cath.
Oh, absolutely.
Yes. So right now we've just got
All right.
Kelly, Adam, Luke. That's my husband. Good support there. Holly from Teach Starter and Chelsea watching. So Holly is going to be drawing a prize, just randomly drawing one of our question askers. So if anybody's got any questions for Cath up their sleeve, make sure you do ask those. Can everyone see both Cath and myself? Well, I guess it's more important that you can see Cath. Can you give us a thumbs up if you can see and hear us both okay?
So I'm not seeing comments. So is that just because?
There we go.
Oh, okay. There's
Okay, here we
Aaron.
go. Got Aaron's comment. So Aaron's comment is, Cath, what
All
are
right.
some of your keys to longevity and staying passionate? That's a great question.
Okay, I probably haven't got the best connection here. Where I live, I'm in a bit of a black spot. If it cuts out, yeah, that's just my bad connection.
Okay. No worries.
My key to
Cath, sorry, are you on your Wi-Fi or your 4
I'm on
5G?
my Wi-Fi.
Okay, I just switched mine to my 4G, so sometimes that actually helps. So if we lose you, maybe we'll try that next.
All right, I'll just make sure that's off. And I've got my husband off the Wi-Fi, so that's just,
Great,
just me.
okay, no worries.
All right, so Aaron asked about key to longevity and positivity, and I think it's who you surround yourself with. A couple of years ago, I was ready to throw the towel in, I guess you could say, and I changed my mind in that I started getting connected with other people, and I found like-minded people, and that made the world a difference. You are a reflection of about the 5 people that you hang around with the most. So I put myself with enthusiastic people, people that will want to push me, people that want to support me, and it rubbed off. It really does rub off, and I think that's probably been a key to it. And being a lifetime learner, I like to learn things. I like to know how to do things. I admit that, oh gosh, I don't know how to do that. I'm going to learn, I'm going to find out. And I think that I can accept that. And I'm not ready to give up yet. Yeah, I just think health-wise and mentality and all of that, I've still got it. You know, one day I won't.
Yeah, you have.
But
Yeah.
I feel, you know, I'm in my 50s, but I've still got a lot to go. Yeah, I think that's good. Does that answer that, Aaron?
Great question, Aaron. I think that's a really great one because we know that a lot of teachers, the stats are showing that a lot of teachers are leaving the profession after 5 years or even in the first 5 years. And so to find a teacher like Cath who's still incredibly passionate and not only pursues your own goals and work with such incredible passion and love for the job, but also encourages that within others, your colleagues, your online following, people that you know, is really special. So yeah, really appreciate that. We don't have any other questions yet, so maybe I'll jump in and ask you a couple, Cath. So can you remember a time in your education career that you found extremely challenging, whether it be changes, departmental changes or systemic changes in the way schools are run, or even just social changes, the way kids are the way kids are, with whether that's a bit is generational thing, or because I mean you've been a teacher for 3 decades, so you must have seen a lot of different families, but also different waves of things happening in family life.
I guess so, yes. I guess the nature of the children has changed in family life. When I first started, sort of there's a little bit, I guess, more respect for teachers and educators in society in general, and that you didn't go and see the teacher unless there was something super important. You just trusted the teacher. Now, these days, society seems to question teachers a lot more and not leave to their professional judgment. Children, the nature of them are different as well. As I think we just seem to be so much busier as families that we don't get back to the basics of, oh, look, sit down and read with your child, go outside and do all that playtime. I think there's too much screen time. Again, come from society being busy, and just, yeah, I think we just need to, all right, bring it all back to the basics, those good old-fashioned things that we used to do. And yeah, I think that's where I see the biggest change, that children don't have the same attention span, they don't have the same interests, the same attitudes, you know, that something doesn't work, I throw it away, whereas, you know, work at it or fix it sort of attitude, and make do sort of, whereas now it's sort of a lot more materialistic. Yeah, that's what I find with the
Definitely.
children
And
and families.
yeah, hopefully with the sustainability thing being a big push at the moment in society, and I think it's becoming a really mainstream kind of concept for people. It's not just a hippy dippy thing. That consumerism will kind of start to drop off again. But yeah, you're definitely right. Hobbies and interests have changed so much, I guess, even between your kids being young and the kids that you would have seen teaching in the last few years. We've got a question there from Jake. Hi, Jake. He says, how do you look after your mental health in the long term of teaching? Really good question there.
All right. Yes. I did bottom out. A few years ago, I got very stressed, very exhausted. Again, I'd had enough of sort of teaching and did look to leave. And then I sort of had, that's when I started getting connected online with people and found my community, and that made the world a difference. It actually changed. It changed everything. And then I went and sought help. I did. I knew for a long time that the stress was getting to me and the burnout. And mainly that comes from not having the support. I felt like I was alone, and differences with admin. Like, I got on well with admin, but admin didn't want anything to do with you. Oh, you're a good teacher. Go down there and go do your business. And they just left you alone. And while that sort of, oh, yes, okay, you trust me, but I need your support as well as. So I did. I burnt out. But as I said, I went and sought help, and I went and spoke to somebody. And I've been speaking to someone for about 2 years now. And it has made the world of difference to have a different perspective. Someone else thinking, well, hey, think this way. I take better care of myself. And again, like I said earlier, I put myself with the positive people. And that just, they uplift me. So sometimes I might be sort of, you know, I can feel that bit of that spiral starting to happen again. And I think, no, hang on a minute. And I'm better with the strategies. I can recognise it better, and I can do something more about it.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for your honesty and rawness in talking about mental health issues as well, Cath, because I think sometimes it's something that a lot of people do push down, and it's not really a matter of stigma anymore, because I think people now realise that this is actually a really important part of our lives. But it's really good to have someone like yourself who's a mentor to younger teachers saying, hey, it's okay to access professional help if you need it. And like you said, they've given you these strategies that you can apply. But that brought me to another question that was actually asked on the page today. I was just trying to bring it up, but it was about, you just mentioned that your mental health relies heavily upon people that you surround yourself with. So I just wanted to find this question because it was about toxicity in the workplace and how to, yeah, do you remember the one?
Angie had asked the question about how do you lift yourself away from the negative Nellies?
Perfect. Yes. Thank you for remembering.
Yeah.
Could you just give us the answers that you gave her? Because I loved those, and I think it's important for everyone to hear them.
Yes, I've had to deal with this, and I think the best way is that I try and steer clear. You keep your standard, okay? Never drop yourself down to their standard. Never join in with whatever they're gossiping or talking about or having a whinge about. Sometimes, you try to sort of, hey, what about this? Or, oh, it's not like that. How about you try that? And you try and sort of turn it around, but they wear you down. And sometimes in the end, you just sort of think, well, why am I bothering? But you still just got to keep trying. And then I do, like if the staff room situation is negative, I actually take myself away. I will go and have lunch with other friends in other rooms. I will go and occupy myself in my room, because sometimes, especially my role last year and this year, I had 6 different classes. So in between lunchtime and recess time, I would go and have some quiet time in my room, get myself organised, get myself set up, and then I'm ready for the children that way. Yeah, so
Yeah, and that's the
and
thing, I think. Yeah, yep.
I tried to do kindness things. So I would do random acts of kindness for the staff, like little plants, little notes, little treats, all that sort of thing, to try and build up as a staff morale, and yeah.
Yep.
But yeah, in the
It's
end,
just those little things, isn't it?
you got to
The
take yourself
relationships that you
away.
have.
Yeah, yeah. But always maintain your standard. And then there have been times that I've had to go and speak to admin. Hey, this person, is talking about someone else's children and on staff and things. Something needs to be done about that. Yeah, but I don't think it's necessarily my place to go and approach someone, but I have spoken out about some issues.
Yeah, and I think that you can, of course, confidentially approach your admins if you are finding somebody particularly challenging to the way you're working or the way you're getting along. I know that I've been in staff meetings where admins have sensitively broached the topic of toxicity, and you would never know who it was in the room or who had actually let them know, but they just kind of do a little bit of a wrap up, I guess, like we do with our students when we have social and emotional issues that need addressing. And it just kind of gives everybody that little reminder that we're actually there for the kids, not for our own interests, I guess. And just like you said, bringing it back to that is really important.
Yeah. And if you're negative, that rubs off onto the children. The children realise, they see it, they hear it. And and if you're going to be so negative or in that kind of frame of mind, maybe you might start to think, well, why am I here? If I'm not here for the children and I'm just complaining all the time, you might need to change your situation. Yeah. I did notice
I think that's
Teach Starter.
very true.
Yeah, Teach Starter asked a question about advice for early career teachers.
Yes. Yep.
You can't do everything by yourself. Find support. That's the biggest difference that I have found is, get connected, whether it's people on your staff, that's first port of call. If you find you're not getting the support there, you have access online now. You have access to other schools. You have access to social media. Just talk about things. Don't try and bottle it up. Don't think, oh, that's a silly question, or, they're going to think I'm silly because I don't know how to do that. No, just know that you've got people out there and connect with them. And don't try and take on too much. Like, there's a big difference from being a prac student or a uni student to wham, you're straight in the classroom, 5 days a week, full time, and it is overwhelming. It is overwhelming, and that you don't have to do all the things, and don't fall into the trap of seeing things on social media. Oh, I need that resource, or I need to do that to my classroom. No, just the basics. Find your place, find your bearings, find your rhythm, and then you'll start bringing things in. Like 30 years and I was still changing things around, because that's what you'll do. You will evolve as you go. So don't think you have to know it all and have it all in those first couple of years. No. Take yourself.
Really good advice there.
Be good to yourself. Yeah, give yourself grace.
Oh, that's lovely. Yeah, really good reminder there. I think we can get a bit caught up in it when we're beginning out, and the comparison is really hard too, because I used to find
Oh, it
myself
is.
comparing to teachers that had been in the profession a long
Mm-hmm.
time and think
Yeah.
they've got such
Me.
amazing resources. Yeah. Yeah. So we've got another question there from Teach Starter. How do you get a good balance for work and life? Now, this is something we did talk about in the podcast, and it's something that you've had to work on. So I'd love you to just share a bit more about that now.
I didn't have a good balance for a long time, and it's only probably in the last 5 or 6 years that I finally realised, okay, I need to let go of having school as my priority, because that's where it was, and then family and myself, it was suffering, and that's sort of when it came to a head that I thought, I can't just do this anymore. I don't think you can ever balance it, and I don't think you can do it on your own. If you've got a family, you've got young ones, you need help, you need support. Whereas in my situation at the time with my children growing up, because we're in a town that we didn't have family, we didn't have friends that we sort of our children were growing up with necessarily. So, you know, we weren't reciprocating, hey, you look after my kids, I look after yours sort of thing. So it fell onto my husband and I. And we were trying to do it, on our own. And as I said, you've got to get help, you've got to get support. And does that help?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, it really does. And I think that it's a big theme that you talk about, getting connected to other people, having relationships. And that brings me to your brand new podcast that you've just launched, which is called Get Connected, which with a little ED on the
It
end for
is.
education. Very clever. I like what you did there. So tell us a bit
Yes.
about the podcast.
Oh, thank you. It's all about, as you said, getting connected, because that was a pivotal point in a huge change in my life and in my teaching, which was only about 4 or 5 years ago. Once I started to get connected with, again, like-minded people, like-minded educators, and not just teachers, authors, principals, superintendents, parents, all this big community, you start to broaden your perspectives, and you start to sort of learn, and you start to grow, and that has just really, as I said, changed my whole outlook. Now I thought, all right, building relationships, because that's what connections are about, making relationships. So I just thought, okay, how can I help other teachers, other educators, now that I'm not in the classroom? And I thought, okay, let's bite the bullet. It's like blogging, and I can write it down, but I just thought, well, another way is that if I put it onto voice, I like podcasts. I find that they're easy to listen to anywhere, anytime. Such a variety out there, as well as that I thought, well, maybe I could reach an audience through that way. Also,
Yeah.
I can practice because video, I just sort of, it freaks me out. Whereas being able to speak and have a script and know what I'm saying is just so much more helpful. I just thought, right, at the moment, I think that's where I'm headed, and
Yep.
that's why I started
Awesome.
it. So,
Oh,
and
so great. Good on you.
it's not everybody's cup of tea, but I just thought, if I can share my stories, like, I don't know all, and I never pretend to know all, but sharing your story, sharing your experiences, someone else might sort of just pick up and go, oh, I have experienced that too. That's okay. You know, Cath's experienced that, and she's been through it, and she got through the other side, or that gives me an idea, or I didn't think of that. That's a different way of thinking about it. So I'm just
Yep.
there, as I said, to share stories, share other people's stories, and to help and support.
Yeah, fantastic. Oh, good on you. I'm really impressed with that, because like it's you really love digital technologies and educational technologies, and you're open to learning so much, and it's really admirable to see you doing that. But also, just as an experienced seasoned teacher, the wealth of knowledge you have from 30 years is a really valuable resource for other people. So don't forget to follow. You can find Cath's podcast. It's called Get Connected by Cath Williams, and add it to your library, because I
Thank
love
you.
listening to the initial episode. So that's really awesome, Cath. We've got another
Oh,
question
thank
here
you very
from
much.
Aaron Johnson. No worries. That's really, really cool. If you could make one change to education, what would it be? That's a good question.
Um,
Only one?
narrow it down, make it simplified. Let's go back to the basics. I've had kindergarten for several years, and the pressure to perform, to reach standards, I think this all just needs to slow down. Like children
Yeah.
need time to learn, time to socialise, time to play, time to be kids. And we're putting, hierarchy, putting all this pressure on to perform and reach certain levels and certain reading levels by the end of kindergarten, certain reading levels by the end of year one. If they're not that level, then they're deemed, behind. So, and there's enough for teachers to do. There's enough for children to do. So, as I said, let's just bring it all back down to the basics. And before a child can learn the academics, they've got to have their system in order. They've got to have their brain in order. They've got to be ready for learning. And pushing them through, it's not helping them. It's setting them up for, failure. So, bring it back.
Yeah. Yeah, I really like that. Very important, especially in those early years. Really important to focus on play. Play is something that's just been absolutely lost in the time, even the 10 years that I have become a teacher. So Aaron's asking, he's got a double header for you. Have you got some tips to ease that pressure that students often feel with that downward pressure of curriculum coming onto the kids?
You've got to try and stay calm yourself. You don't want to put the pressure that's coming down onto you, onto the children. So I think it's that mindset that the children don't have to keep thinking, oh, I've got to perform. I don't do any comparison. So I've never had charts or anything where the children can see themselves against other children in their class. So they have set their own goals and they want to reach certain levels themselves, and they've got to understand that and have the confidence. I find the most is the lack of confidence in children. I don't want to have a go at doing something because I might get it wrong. So we have to work on that mindset with the children and let them know that you are in a safe place to take risks and that mistakes are all part of learning and it's okay. And a test like NAPLAN or a level or whatever does not define you. You are not your test level. You are much more than that. And a lot of these assessments and the pressure that's coming down, it's just snapshots. And you've got to try and intercept that and not let it flow onto the children.
Yeah, really good. And you can tell you've got a lot of experience doing that, Cath, because it sounds like that would be something that comes quite naturally to you. But even in the face of that, like you said, the pressure isn't just on the kids; it's actually on us as well as educators. So, okay, we've got another one from Jake. What are your thoughts on formative assessment and assessment for learning? His school has. Oh, I can't scroll down. He's got a nice long question for us there. Can you see the whole question, Cath?
No, it disappeared, sorry.
Okay, no worries. I'm just going to see. Sorry, Jake, can you just put the second part about this? Oh, sorry, there's my computer, guys. I can tell I'm a newbie at this. Okay,
my thoughts about formative
assessment.
You need to know, you need assessment, obviously. You need to know where the children are. And you need a range of assessments, not, again, just one little pinpoint. You've got to provide different opportunities for the children to show their learning. Some children freak out at formal assessments, written assessments. I think it comes down to knowing your children. So quite often I used to, in here, I could tell you anything about a child, their style of learning, their worries, where they are. But to get it sort of down, you need, I guess for administration, you need the proof, all right? You need to be able to sort of justify your judgments when it comes to reporting and that. You need to show evidence. So I think you need to have as many different forms of assessment. So you've got assessment for learning and of learning. And knowing your children, you can cater for their differences. So don't sort of think that, one piece of paper, formalise. Now, one child perhaps struggles with literacy, but they're really good at maths, but I can't read the questions or interpret the questions, so they're disadvantaged that way. So you've got to provide those opportunities to show their learning in perhaps styles or formats in which they can truly show what they do know.
Yep, definitely. So I've just got the rest of Jake's question up on my computer screen, and he said that his school is actually a huge advocate for formative assessment, although he feels as if it reduces student, and he feels that it does reduce student pressure and stress. So that's an interesting take. Do you agree with that, Cath?
So in his situation then, the children know exactly sort of what to expect. So that would ease the pressure. They know what's coming up. Does that make sense?
Yeah, yep, definitely. And also, yeah. So we've got another question here from Ali. Sorry, no, it's Aaron. Hi, Ali. Thanks for joining us. Aaron says, "What's been one of the best moments in your career?" That's a nice question.
Oh, that is lovely. Wow. 30 years. Golly gosh, I don't know if I've really sat down and thought what's been marvellous. I'd have to probably think things recently in that being able to sort of travel to some other schools. I travelled to the United States, and I was able to visit a few schools over there, and sort of compare back to us and sort of think, yes, I like what they're doing, but I love what we're doing as well as, and to really appreciate what's in our own backyard and what we are doing. We're doing some marvellous things here in Australia as well as.
Yep. Definitely. Well, thanks, Cath. Look, we're running out of time. It's just about to be 7:30. So, Holly, would you please mind getting those amazing questions we've got, and drawing our lucky winner for me? Might just give it another minute. But yeah, I just wanted to say thank you so much, Cath, for being here in the group and always commenting on our discussions. And to everybody else who has popped in a question there, please stay tuned, because we might be able to have another chat with Cath, or Cath might be able to answer those questions in this thread when I press publish on this one.
Yeah.
Cath,
thank you, Aaron, for your lovely comment. Thank you, Bronwyn. Sorry. Thank you. Wonderful opportunity. I sometimes, get my words a bit mixed around and all of that, but I just love helping, love supporting, and if I can do anything for anybody, I'm more than happy to do it for them. So thank you very much for this opportunity. Thank you, everyone who joined us. I appreciate you've been working all day and then taking time out tonight to be with us. So I really appreciate it. Thank you.
Good on you, Cath. Thank you so much for being here and for offering your time to us to answer those questions. Really appreciate it. Thanks for popping in, guys. And the lucky winner of the Plus plan is Erin Dwyer. Congratulations, Erin. So that's exciting. You can check out all of... Now, I think, Erin, you had a question about implementing number talks, which we didn't actually get to, but we do have an amazing resource on the website about number talks. So please feel free to take a look at that, and possibly Cath might be able to get back to you with a few quick wins with that soon. Oh, look, you're very excited. Yay.
Yeah, if there's any more questions, put them up and I'll get to them as well as.
Oh, you're so giving of your time. Thank you. We really, really appreciate it. Thanks
for
being
pleasure.
here, Holly from Teach Starter. Yeah, good.
Thank you.
Cath. We really, really appreciate everything you're doing.
Thanks, everyone.
All the best with the podcast. Don't forget to follow Cath's podcast, Get Connected. Very exciting. See you soon.
Thank you. All right. Happy Friday to you tomorrow. Bye-bye.
Yes. Yay. Bye. Bye, guys.